Welcome to another low-rated episode of Two Mats, One Steve. We appreciate the couple viewers that we have. Check out the other stuff on Outpost Unknown because it's really solid. Tonight, we're going to talk about...
Is it, though?
It is.
American Ninja Cast is blowing up, baby.
It is blowing up. We're closing in on 10,000 views on that, Steve. How does that make you feel to be the rock star of Outpost Unknown?
I don't. That's a low bar.
So tonight, guys, we're going to talk Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, you guys are giant Ghostbusters fans. I hate Ghostbusters, and so I felt like this would be a good opportunity for us to have an interesting conversation, considering we usually agree on most things.
But by interesting conversation, you mean this is a chance for, because Steve and I constantly shit on Star Wars, so now you want to shit on something that we like.
Maybe. so Ronan,
I'm on to your fucking game.
Ronan, tell me a little bit about your love of Ghostbusters. Why do you love the original Ghostbusters? And I mean, I assume you like a lot of the other stuff related to it as well. But why?
Ghostbusters is one of those movies that caught lightning in a bottle. It's a unique concept that had like the right combination of interesting idea with the right cast for it, the right script that you can't even with the same people literally trying to do it again. It cannot completely be replicated. It's lightning in a bottle.
Okay, so what is your take like on Ghostbusters 2? Do you think it's a
fine,
good movie, or
it's an okay movie? A lot of people will shit on it. Oh, Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 has the problem that most sequels have, especially from that time period, where it just tells the same story all over again.
Yeah, it's garbage. But okay, Steve, your love of Star Wars, or Star Wars, your love of Ghostbusters, where does it come from? I killed somebody. I was very excited.
Oh god, I gotta be serious. So I'm gonna get real serious here for a minute. I'm gonna give you like some personal details about me.
Okay.
When I was in school, I was always the smart kid in every class, and I hated it. I was very unhappy with myself because I had very few friends because I was always the smart kid and whatnot. And so I ended up really like attaching myself to like the nerdy characters or the super smart characters in various fictional things. And so Egon Spengler is one of the characters that kind of made like young kid Steve like come to terms with being the smart kid. I'm an idiot now, but I was super smart when I was younger. And so I really enjoyed the Egon Spengler character and then Ghostbusters as a whole kind of because of him. So I have kind of a personal attachment to this franchise, but also really specifically to that character who is a big focal point of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I have a similar kind of attachment to it now for a different sort of reason. But it's when we get later into the movie, I'll go into that part. So.
Okay, so you guys are huge fans of Ghostbusters.
So now Matt needs to feel bad if he shit talks it.
Yeah.
No, like I mean, I've been very upfront and vocal. Like I hate Ghostbusters. I hate it. I think that first movie is trash. And it's funny because my fiance loves Ghostbusters. So
you don't deserve her. She is too good for you. Fuck. We're going to help.
She was like, "You're like the only person on planet Earth that hates Ghostbusters." I'm like, I mean, I saw this movie when I was a kid, and I thought it was like one of the worst things I'd ever seen in my life. Like I hated it in the '80s when I watched it.
Ridiculous take.
Isn't that crazy? One of the things that's
crazy. It's almost like you're a troll.
No, I'm not. I'm just being honest. I hate Ghostbusters. I hate Bill Murray. I've always hated Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's an asshole. Like I will second the hate for Bill Murray.
Yeah. Like especially you get older, you find out like, oh yeah, he's like a huge piece of trash.
Like this movie actually made me hate Bill Murray more, but we'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there. All right. So yeah, I just remember having, just as a kid, really disliking the Ghostbusters. You know, and it's just stuck with me my whole life.
He's on the side. He's on the side.
Hold on, I'll be very quiet while you focus.
All right.
Where the fuck did he go?
Pick me up.
He's to the right.
Pick me up.
He's behind you, Ronan.
Wait, how? Carrie.
That's not what I meant. I meant like
You said to
reliably.
pick you. Oh shit!
Run towards the kill zone,
Use
Ronan.
him as a human
Yeah,
shield,
there.
Ronan.
Well, throw me and kill him!
Nice.
Come on, we're not. Oh, son of a bitch.
Run, Ronan, run.
Why am I friends with you two?
So the
God damn.
first place team won via storm. I am going to grab a drink. Fuck you, assholes. I'm going to grab a drink. Matt, keep talking shit about Ghostbusters, and I won't be here to hear it.
That's fine. So I really hated the first Ghostbusters ever since I was a kid. And when I saw Ghostbusters 2, I was like, this is even worse. Like, this is just everything I hate distilled into like 90 minutes. You know, Steve, I'm not a huge comedy guy. I find the quote unquote humor in Ghostbusters to be insufferable. I just can't stand it. I never understood why people love this so much. I thought it was completely overrated. That's just me personally. I've always felt that way. And then
I mean, I can confirm that you've always felt that way, but I can also confirm that you're fucking wrong.
And then I saw the Ghostbusters, what was it, 2016 one with Chris
Yes.
Hemsworth and the female Ghostbusters, and I thought that was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I mean,
in terms of a
that's
comedy, that is
Not good movie.
garbage. It's a garbage. It has nothing to do with the fact that the Ghostbusters are women. I don't even like the original Ghostbusters, and they're men. Can't stand it. I just don't like this sort of... gosh, I don't know, like, the idea just does not appeal to me at all. I think the setups and the gags are not funny. I think that it's, you know, I understand it's iconic. I understand that I can't get away from Ghostbusters in my life. It's everywhere. Doesn't matter, you know, you watch Stranger Things and there's Ghostbusters references in that. I just don't like it. So there has never been, and I never watched the real Ghostbusters cartoon because I hated the Ghostbusters. So I never watched it. So maybe that's good. I don't know. But I was like, you know what? I was at my local library a couple weeks ago, and I was checking out they always have a section of new DVDs, new releases, and I was like, oh, they have Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I was like, well, my fiance really likes Ghostbusters, so I'll suffer through this with her because she likes Ghostbusters, and so we watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. So before we get into it, Steve, were you excited about this going in? I think it was it not Ivan Reitman, it was his son, right? Directed this?
Yep.
And
Yep,
Ivan
correct.
Reitman, was he the original director on the original first Ghostbusters?
The first two.
First
Yes.
two. Okay, so it was his son that made this. So Steve, tell me what you were thinking when you first saw that this was coming out. Were you excited for it?
Yeah, I was super excited. I wanted to see how they were going to carry on. And because they made it clear from the very first trailer, which was a teaser, they made it clear that somehow, some way, it was going to involve Egon. And like I said, Egon was like one of my fictional heroes growing up, so I wanted to see how they handled, you know, the real life death of Harold Ramis. Yeah, I was. Why is everything on fire?
What the fuck happened? What happened?
It's not me. I'm on the boat out here in the water.
This one might actually be me. I had a jar of fireflies, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So I threw it.
Yep, it was you.
Anyways, yeah, I was super on board with it. I wanted to see how they kind of honored the character of Egon as well as the actor Harold Ramis. So yeah, I was fully on board with it.
Okay, Ronan, what was your excitement level going into Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Infamously, I have said before that I don't get excited for anything, and that's true. I didn't get excited for it. I saw it. I saw the trailer for it. Especially like the early, just before there was a trailer, just like the preview images of the Ecto-1 in the barn with the thing, like with the tarp covering it up and stuff, and even the first trailer. And again, I don't get hyped for anything. That's not just me, shitting on Star Wars. There was no, oh man, I can't wait to see this, bro. It's going to be so awesome. Like you and Rachel do when you're talking about Star Wars, and it makes me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth. So I just
Can confirm.
I don't get hyped for anything. I did message Steve and I messaged Frank, who are my, those are my go-tos when it would come to Ghostbuster stuff, and the consensus was kind of, oh hey, this is probably going to be a nice little coming-of-age movie about some, and it's just going to so happen to have ghosts.
There's guys over here shooting.
I don't have a long-range weapon, but so I didn't have a hype level for it, but I was like, well, at least this one looks okay from the trailer. I couldn't say that for the 2016 movie.
Yeah, what'd you think of that movie?
I never saw it. It looked bad, so I didn't see it. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. It looked bad, so I didn't see it.
Okay, I was not trying. How do I use this fucking gun?
So that was my hype level. Yeah, I didn't have one. I'd kind of casually message Steve and Frank, like, oh, so this trailer's out. What do you think?
I'm gonna throw this chug thing down. Okay, so I had no hype level for it, obviously, because Ghostbusters sucks. So, Steve, tell me what you thought. Oh, first, what's the setup here? You're good at doing the high-level synopsis, and then tell me what you thought.
I'm good at it when we're not playing Fortnite. A family gets evicted. They go to like some small town in the middle of nowhere because they find out that the mom's father, the kid's grandfather, has died and left them a little bit of property, and that is the only material possession they basically have left. They have to go there or they're going to be homeless. They go there and discover that, I'm just going to spoil this because I feel like we've already mentioned it. They discover that, well, I guess the mother already knew this, but the children discover that their grandfather was Egon Spengler. Now, the opening of the movie is Egon trying to catch a ghost or demon. It's one of the terror dogs, but I don't know that you necessarily know that immediately. The terror dogs from the first movie, Heralds of Gozer or whatnot. He's gone on a solo quest to capture Gozer. He fails. He gets killed, and then his family moves into his home. Little by little, ghosts start attacking this town. You find out that Gozer was about to be summoned again, and Egon basically went rogue because one of the terrible parts of the movie is that the Ghostbusters, let me say that name again, the Ghostbusters did not believe that ghosts were coming, and so Egon had to go and do his own thing. Egon had kind of a plan in place to capture Gozer, but he has died, and so now his family...
Oh, son of a bitch, hey, you guys want to fly on this spaceship?
Yes. Where are you?
All right.
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Come here, Ronan.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know how this works.
I have no idea how this works either. All
Look at
right.
this.
I'm trusting you, Ronan.
You shouldn't.
Fly it, Ronan.
Anyways,
how high can you go?
Egon's grandchildren and two of their friends have to finish Egon's plan to capture Gozer. That's all you need to know. Egon's grandchildren versus Gozer. That is this movie.
Okay, so what did you think?
I love the character of Egon Spengler, and so I loved that this movie really respected that character. They gave him the best send-off they could, having to work around the fact that his real-life actor has died. All of the nostalgia sprinkles that they put in the movie, all of those really got over and hit home with me. And so when I watched it, I absolutely loved it. I fucking cried at the end of this movie, and I don't care who knows that. I loved it when I saw it. Every time I think about it, it's like this movie does not hold up to any scrutiny, any level of scrutiny whatsoever. This movie lives and dies by the nostalgia and the nostalgia only. If I watched it again right now, I'd probably love it again, but deep down I know it's not a good movie.
Okay, Ronan, your thoughts on Ghostbusters Afterlife?
It's because Steve and I have had this talk before amongst ourselves, is that the movie falls apart because It doesn't work unless, like, Egon goes rogue and goes out to catch the ghost all by himself. So it's like, okay, but like once the other Ghostbusters don't believe him that Gozer is going to return, and yet once he finds this temple inside of this little town, at no point does it occur to him to get back up and send proof to the Ghostbusters who didn't believe him. And it's like, okay, here's the proof. Will you guys come and help me now? Which would have solved all of this. Like when you put if you put like more than a second or two's thought into it, it falls apart. And because the whole movie is dependent on that, like the movie doesn't really stand on its own. It's I don't remember what YouTube video it was. I never watched it, but the title of it. The title of it, I think, sums it up best. It's a flawed but sincere sequel to the original, which that seems fair. I won't go so far as to say that it's a bad movie, because it's fine. But like what Steve said, the premise of it doesn't hold up, because again, it's like at no point did it occur to him to take a picture and email it to Ray.
Yeah. I don't really know what else they could have done, because Harold Ramis is dead. They have to get him, the person, out of the movie. I don't know that I would have gone with him going rogue and having all of the Ghostbusters completely out of character, like stop believing that ghosts are going to be a thing and that ghosts are going to attack. Like,
Egon Spengler can burn in hell.
Yeah,
no.
The foundation of this movie does not work. Like, some of the things that are built on that foundation are good, but yeah, like I said, it holds up to no level of scrutiny whatsoever. There are like giant gaping plot holes if you stop to think for a second. Like, Egon's master plan is to he builds a super trap out in like a farmland that he owns. He builds a super trap to catch Gozer, but his plan to lure Gozer there is to catch the terror dogs, and Gozer can't spawn without them, and you would think that
all he
Egon
needs to do is
that.
catch. He only needs one to keep it from working. So even after he dies and he has one of the terror dogs in a ghost trap, as long as two kids and a dumb teacher don't connect that trap to a car battery, then Gozer the Gozer can't resurrect itself, because one of the terror dogs is gone.
Yeah, explain to me
Gozer.
the lore here, because I'm not a huge Ghostbusters fan here. What's the lore behind Gozer?
I don't know what his history is. They're like some super Sumerian demon, but the way it works is those two terror dogs have to come out and they have to possess people, and then once both terror dogs have possessed a human, then they can summon Gozer. But his plan was to trap Gozer in that giant trap, but he was going to catch the terror dogs to do that, which would explicitly not even allow Gozer to show up. But not allowing Gozer to show up was not his plan. So it doesn't make any sense. It
doesn't sound very smart, Steve.
Yeah, it's not. Like I said, I like the nostalgia bits of this movie, but the story makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. The movie relies on stupidity and the Ghostbusters acting out of character to move the plot along. So it's one of those things where I hate it, but there's enough good nostalgia parts here and enough respect paid to Harold Ramis and the Egon Spengler character that I enjoyed. That I ended up enjoying it in spite of its flaws.
Yeah, it's like that. That's only one of the things that doesn't make any sense too. Like the fact that he has a daughter, and based on her age, you also see pictures of her as a little kid in the movie. It's she was born probably. She was probably alive during the events of Ghostbusters 1. But the movie sells it is that he abandoned his family, his daughter, and everything to go chase Gozer. And yet, this is a character who must have been born and existed, in the time frame of Ghostbusters 2 at the bare minimum, maybe even Ghostbusters 1. So it's okay, so he was an asshole even when he was alive? Stuff like that actually goes the opposite route of being respectful. It actually because they just couldn't they couldn't bother to get the age range right for the character, so it doesn't work. And so it's like the only way that it does work, as it is framed the movie, is that Egon just abandoned his kids even before he decided to go on a Gozer hunt.
It does make him to be kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Like a bad
all of the
person.
Ghostbusters in this movie
Are we hanging out up here?
they're
Coward spotting?
sure, like they're all like so out of character. Again, the Ghostbusters refused to believe that ghosts were coming, and so they basically, told Egon, the smartest man on the goddamn planet when it comes to ghosts, like, you don't know what you're talking about. And so, man, the more I think about this movie, the more I dislike it, which is probably not what Matt was expecting us to say.
Well, here's why I wanted to cover this, guys, because I'm going to shock you a little bit. I liked this movie. Like, I actually liked this movie, and I felt like this was something.
There's someone out there. Get back in here, Ronan.
Okay. I felt like this was kind of like the reverse of like the Book of Boba Fett, right? I had all these expectations that came along with Boba Fett, and then I ended up being very disappointed by them. Where you guys had no expectations whatsoever, and you're just kind of like, whatever. I actually like, again, I hate the Ghostbusters. I don't care about the Ghostbusters at all. I don't even care about them when they showed up in this movie. I thought that was probably the weakest part of the movie. I was very
pro Ghostbusters not showing up in uniform. Like for this, I was on record telling Frank and Steve that I don't want them to wear those proton packs. I don't want them to save the day. They can show up, give information, and pimp the fuck out of there.
I mean,
the fuck out of there.
I liked the film. I liked the characters. The sort of like I thought the kids did really, really well. I thought Paul Rudd was really funny in his role. Like this, I laughed more in this movie than I have in any other Ghostbusters property combined. Like all of this crap I've seen, and I just felt like this one had like that sequence when they're kind of. Where they're in the Ecto-1 and they're going through the town and she's trying to catch Muncher. I thought that was a cool new ghost, because like, are they just going to bring like Slimer back for this? But they had like a new ghost. I just thought it was cool. I thought it was real fun. The characters are very sort of enjoyable.
See, I'm guessing it didn't. You don't like the Ghostbusters to begin with, so it probably didn't bother you how completely out of character they all were in this movie.
And just like it didn't bother you guys how sort of out of character Boba Fett was, but for me, it was infuriating.
Character. We talked about this.
He had no character, and even you were like, I can't argue this point.
Shut up, I'm arguing it. But yeah, and that's the thing, like, you guys, I know that it's like, hey, we got to feel real sad here because here's a CG ghost of Harold Ramis. That didn't affect me at all, right? Because I don't care about any of that stuff. So none of that stuff was ever things for me that I was like, oh, it's tugging at my heartstrings, or it's all this nostalgia feel. Like, I watched this with zero nostalgia whatsoever, and I ended up liking it. To me, this is easily the best Ghostbusters movie. It's easily the best, not even close, best Ghostbusters movie.
Like Steve says, like, the more he thinks about it, the worse off it gets for him. I can't go that far with it, if only because the act, because you mentioned like all the characters are good and stuff, and it's like the acting and everything kind of carries through. It's one of those. It's a situation where it's like, while the core, the foundation the movie is built on is flawed and floppy, so the whole movie suffers for that. It does get carried by the strength of the cast that is there.
I disagree. Like
you didn't like the cast?
I like Phoebe, Podcast, The Mom, and Paul Rudd. Stranger Things Kid and Lucky had no purpose being in this movie. They did
nothing.
Who was
Lucky? Which one was Lucky?
The girl that the Stranger Things Kid goes for.
Oh, okay.
Stranger Things Kid serves a purpose in that, he's the driver guy, he's the mechanic. He would be the Ray of this outfit.
That's fine, but there's.
Lucky serves no purpose.
No, Lucky's purpose is having the keys to the police station because her dad owns it. or her dad is the deputy.
Oh, there's somebody
and,
outside, just outside the window.
Yeah, let him fight. Stranger Things kid.
Oh, they're shooting me! They're shooting me! They know we're in here.
Reloading. Ow.
Oh shit! They're gonna. I was gonna hide under here and get them.
Reloading. Oh shit! He's up here.
Get him, Ronan.
Oh,
Get him.
Damn it!
What do you mean, get him, Ronan? I was dead.
I know. Anyways, so Stranger Things kid, his only purpose is to be the mechanic, and Lucky's only purpose is to take her dad's keys. That's it. The only reason they're in this movie is because the Ghostbusters have historically had 4 Ghostbusters. There's no reason that in a better written movie, those character traits, know how to fix a car and know how to find keys, couldn't have been passed on to other people that were already in the film.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair criticism. I didn't really look at it that way, I guess, because again, I don't have the attachment to Ghostbusters that you guys do. I liked the big finale at the end. I thought that all of those characters, I liked that they gave all of those characters something to do at the very end that helped sort of bring Gozer down.
I agree with that. They each played a part in the end, but up until the end, Stranger Things Kid and Lucky have one scene where they hold some sort of value, and then they're in the background until the end of the movie.
I actually thought that the guy who plays the Stranger Kid, this guy,
Finn, what's his name?
Yeah, Finn Wolfhard, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was less annoying in this movie than he is in Stranger Things. Sometimes I watch Stranger Things, I'm like, I just want to punch this guy in the face. He's just got that punchable face. But this one, I actually enjoyed him. I thought he acted much differently than he does in the normal Stranger Things stuff. So I
would have preferred it. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I also liked the mom character. I liked the idea and the concept that they have no money, they're getting evicted, they have to go to this shitty farmhouse and sort of try to adapt to this, because that is something that connected with me, because I'm a city kid. I grew up in cities, but there was a point in my life when my mom moved us out to this really shitty, rat-infested farmhouse that I had to live out for 3 years in the middle of nowhere. And so I think that probably connected with me a little bit, because I'm like, yeah, the house that I lived in looked just like this. Didn't have all the cool shit inside, but it looked like this house. It's a piece of shit in the middle of nowhere. And I kind of identified with some of the characters of what it felt like to be in a situation like that. So, I mean, I don't think it's a great movie by any means. I mean, it's nothing I would put in and rewatch again, but I was quite surprised, considering my hatred for Ghostbusters, that I was like, I actually liked this movie. I thought it was a fun, entertaining movie.
I think your hatred for Ghostbusters is the only thing that let you enjoy this. Because again, if you cared about the Ghostbusters, you'd be like, wait a minute, Ray would never say that, Egon would never do this.
That's true. Yeah, because I don't know those things, right?
Although I'm fine with Ernie Hudson, being the one who actually makes it big after all of this.
Yeah, agreed.
That part tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I was wondering, I was like, where is Sigourney Weaver in all this? And she shows up in this mid-credit sequence, and it just felt weird. I was like,
tacked on.
Yeah, I was like, they just throw this in here so Sigourney Weaver could say, oh, yeah, I was in this movie.
They threw that in there, for that, and also because, so that way, the audience gets the closure of knowing that, okay, Bill Murray and Sigourney Weaver, it actually did work out. As opposed to, let's say, Han Solo and Princess Leia, which did not work out.
It did in my head canon.
The more I think about it, I love the ending. The ending of this,
it's cool.
Is fantastic. It definitely pulled on my heartstrings. But I think this movie is a great ending with a really bad foundation, and probably I'd almost argue an even boring middle. The more I think about it, the less I like this movie.
What did you guys think of
which hurts.
CG Egon? Because I know that was kind of a controversial thing. A lot of people are like, hey, they should not have even had CG Harold Ramis in this, whether it's disrespectful to him or kind of like, bringing back someone who's dead. Same sort of thing that people had with Peter Cushing. Or like, you don't bring back CG Peter Cushing. He's dead. He didn't agree to be in this movie.
Like CG Peter Cushing, that one makes more sense for it to be kind of like offensive to people. Harold Ramis, that one doesn't bother me nearly as much because, his son was like the one making the decision. That's about as close to getting the okay from the family as you can get. And he also, like Peter Cushing, because he is Egon is like kind of a ghostly. You don't get like that kind of uncanny valley sort of effect with him, because Peter Cushing was distracting. It's that was distractingly bad in that movie. Whereas Egon doesn't, because he is he's got this blue glow, and also the model, the reason why he looks as good as he does is because they used the face scan from the Ghostbuster game from 2007, where they got everybody there.
Where are you guys? Why am I all alone fighting
I'm at the
people back
Daily
here?
Bugle with Ronan.
Yeah.
Come on, man, keep up.
But yeah, they used the digital model from the Ghostbuster game that came out 15-ish years ago or so, because all of the guys all of the people got their faces scanned for it. So they had that model laying around. They're like, okay, we'll use this. So that's how they got a good basis for it. They just aged it up.
I thought that I agree with you that I don't think it was disrespectful or anything like that to include him in here. And I think the reason why it works is they didn't make him speak. He doesn't say anything or anything like that. It's just kind of like his ghostly apparition. I think if they would have tried to, like Peter Cushing, right? They either had a voice actor that was really close to him, or even in some cases took lines that he had done from other movies and stuck it in the computer, and an algorithm spits out the actual voice. Kind of like what they did with James Earl Jones for Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. He didn't actually record any lines. That's all a computer.
Yeah, he's credited, but yeah, you're right. That was all computer learning or whatever.
Which is crazy when you think about it. It's kind of because it sounded just like James Earl Jones from the original Star Wars. It was quite impressive. But I think if they would have tried to have him crack jokes and do that kind of thing, it would have been.
They used him in the right ways, in the right amount.
Yeah, because when I was watching the movie in the theater, I was once he dies and after he starts haunting the place, I'm like, oh God, he's going to be a ghost. Don't make him a ghost, please, God, don't make him a ghost. And then it worked. And it's just, I was telling you this would happen.
I don't know what I just threw. I don't know what this button weapon is. But yeah, I was, like I said, I was quite surprised. I was like, I actually enjoyed this movie, and I think I enjoyed it because I came into it with zero expectations, and I had no affiliation or affinity for the property beforehand, other than complete rage and hatred. And so, yeah, I dug it. But I could definitely see your guys' points where I don't think it really holds up if you really think about it. But in terms of it just being sort of a fun movie, I really liked the Muncher ghost. I really did. I was like, this is a cool ghost. Why do you think there was no... What's the lore behind Slimer? Should Slimer have been in this movie? Or is he dead? Is he gone? What's up with Slimer?
Oh, yeah, he's dead.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Dead as a ghost. Is he dead as a ghost?
Within the film itself, it doesn't necessarily give an explanation. The video game actually does, and that's
Someone was shooting at me, by the way.
In that the type of ghost that Slimer is, he's not the ghost of a person. He is a physical manifestation of gluttony and greed from the Sedgwick Hotel. Basically rich people's greed and gluttony, and that's what Slimer is. Where the video game kind of sets up that some ghosts are the actual spirit of a person, and some ghosts are just the manifestation of emotion.
Is the video game canon?
It
was until this movie.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It was because Harold Ramis and Ivan Reitman and Dan Aykroyd wrote the fucking game, so that's about as canon as it can get. But like mentally in my mind, I was like, they always said like, yeah, this is basically the third movie. So for the longest time, like myself and Frank, the early Sleepycast episodes, for anyone who can still find them somewhere out there on the interweb.
Don't encourage people to do that.
You don't want
That's
you
a bad
want to
move.
get canceled, Ronan? Is that what you want?
Who's going to cancel me?
Oh shit!
Me. Captain America! That's America's ass! Got him!
Oh my
Yeah.
god! What the hell is that?
But yeah, like
continue.
we would talk like because there were all kinds of like rumors back like in the 10 years ago about like oh yeah they finally confirmed the third movie and it's going to be a CGI movie like a Pixar kind of a thing. None of that shit ever happened, and eventually we just got tired of constantly talking about a third movie. And we were like, we have the video game. I'm fine with this. If they never make another movie, I'm perfectly fine. I don't give a fuck anymore. So when the third movie does cut, like when they do announce a third movie, unlike some Star Wars fans who have a hard time like disconnecting like what is canon and what isn't, I was like, well, the game doesn't matter anymore. It's like they're not going to follow that. They're just not going to do that. And so like the reason why I don't watch the movie so much like I'll rewatch the first one before I'll rewatch this new one, not because like I have a strong dislike for it. Like, Steve says he dislikes it the more he thinks about it. I don't because it hits me too hard at the end of it. Because like Steve thinks about Harold Ramis as like, himself as that smart kid. I don't think about it as like, me being the smart kid. I think about that as Frank, because Frank never got to see this movie. So when I watch this movie now, the end of it, like it chokes me up. It's even happening right now. I'm having to slow down as I'm talking.
Sure.
But like when I watch this movie, the end of it, that's Frank for me. So
Yeah.
that's part of the attachment that I have to it now. He never got to see this. I don't know what he would have. He probably would honestly agree with you, like with me and Steve. To say like, I like it, but it's got things that upset me. That's probably how he would have thought about it.
This is a good point to talk about why Bill Murray sucks. Because the reason that it took so long to make a third Ghostbusters movie, not counting 2016, is because Bill Murray is a shitbag.
Yeah. Like,
So what was the story behind Bill Murray?
No, but my understanding is, Dan Aykroyd's been trying to make Ghostbusters 3 for 20 years.
Yeah.
And, like, Bill Murray would basically, and, Dan Aykroyd wants everybody to come back, so, hey, let's make the movie. And Bill Murray famously doesn't like doing sequels of any kind. And so,
What happened?
from my understanding is,
okay.
yeah,
Keep going.
my understanding is, Bill Murray would just basically tell Dan Aykroyd, hey, I'll do this movie if you put XYZ into the script. And so Dan Aykroyd's like, okay, let's write a script with because with what Bill wants to happen. At one point, Bill Murray said, I'm only going to do Ghostbusters 3 if Peter Venkman dies early in it. And so that got written into the script. And then Bill
made
Murray
him a
came back
ghost.
and then they came back with like more change. Bill Murray just kept like, as far as I can tell, just kept fucking with Dan Aykroyd for like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah, he famously doesn't like doing sequels, except for, when he does do them, like Garfield 2, when he figured out that, because he said that he did Garfield because he thought that it was like the last name of the director or the writer was Coen, so he thought it was a Coen Brothers movie. And so that's why he signed up for it. But Nick, I'm also kind of amazed that he stuck around, because Bill Murray is like infamous for like signing on to projects and then just not doing it, or being very difficult to get a hold of. For the just quick tangent, the Ghostbuster video game. For the longest time, Steve has always been like would talk about like characters' voices not working out and stuff in it. Then like the reason why Bill Murray sounds like he's doing an impression of Bill Murray in the game is because he was scheduled to do like 2 weeks of voice acting and did 4 days and then just never showed up again. So
Wow.
that's why his dialogue in the game kind of sucks. It doesn't sound right because he barely showed up for any of it, and because he's Bill Murray, people just kind of deal with it. Yeah, they just kind of accept it. Like, well, I guess this is just how it's going to be.
I hate Bill Murray. I've always hated
Yeah.
Bill Murray. I can't think of a
he's
single.
kind of a
Well,
scumbag.
that's not true. I like Groundhog Day. I think that's the only Bill Murray movie I like, and I don't
I mean,
necessarily like it because of him.
We can also blame that movie for this because that is the movie that also famously like destroyed the friendship between Bill Murray and Harold Ramis for like 2 decades.
Yeah,
Why is that?
I don't know the exact. They got into a fight. What
Yeah,
happened
I-
on the set is like I don't know, but it was screaming and borderline physical.
Yeah,
Really?
the story that I've always heard is Bill Murray wanted to make Groundhog Day very serious and philosophical, and Harold Ramis just wanted to make, a good comedy, which the movie was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Did Harold
Bill Mur-
Ramis direct Groundhog Day? I don't even know.
Yes.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay,
right?
I
He
didn't
did,
realize
right?
that.
Yeah, like
Didn't he?
yeah,
I don't know.
I think so. Harold Ramis directed a lot of shit. Like he's like I was rewatching The Office, and suddenly his I think it's either him or Ivan Reitman's name started popping up in some of the credits for directing. I'm like, wait a minute, holy fuck!
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Groundhog Day. See, I like the concept behind Groundhog Day. I don't care for Bill Murray in it. Let's see. Where's the
Bill Murray's the-
director?
Bill Murray is the
Harold
guy-
Ramis. He directed Groundhog Day.
Bill Murray is a guy who he got famous doing comedies, but didn't want to be a comedy actor. He wanted to be like a serious there was a movie he made in the early
If
90s.
Matt ever gets famous for his horror movies, that's going to be his story.
Like there was some movie that he made, I think in like the early 90s or the very late 80s. That was the Bill Murray Passion Project, and it seems
It's
like
The
whenever
Razor's Edge, is that what it was?
yeah, something like that, and it was just a tremendous bomb. It completely tanked, and that's also part of why his career in the '90s pretty much nosedived straight into the ground. Where you had bullshit like Operation Dumbo drop and shit.
When did What About Bob come out? That was 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably. And then he becomes a hermit through most of the 2000s until God, I forgot his name. It's not Judd Apatow. It's the guy who did Life Aquatic and those movies. I forget his name.
Oh, oh God, why can't Wes Anderson?
But that's it. Yeah, Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson more or less essentially gave Bill Murray a career in the 2000s, because there was a fair point where he became a hermit and just didn't do anything.
I
But then
think
he
that
Except
Bill
fuck
Murray's
with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, Bill Murray's renaissance came when Sofia Coppola did Lost in Translation, because that movie was a huge hit, and I remember because that was Bill Murray being quote unquote serious, right?
Yeah, he finally got to be a serious actor in
Yeah,
a movie
and-
that was respected.
And he got all those accolades and stuff, and then I started seeing him pop up in a lot more stuff. But see, I hate Wes Anderson movies too, so I I don't like him in those either. Oh shit!
Yeah, down.
Anyways, Bill Murray is the reason that we had to wait for dead Harold Ramis to be in a Ghostbusters film.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
that,
Bill-
that
Bill
was-
Murray-
Bill Murray at any time could have said, yeah, all right, I'm tired of being a dickbag, let's do this, prior to Harold Ramis's death, and the movie would have gotten done.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There's somebody here, guys. The Daily Bugle, by the way.
Yeah. And I'll also the bulk of the blame for this is 95. It's 95% Bill Murray. But some of this blame also has to get put onto Dan Aykroyd. He just he under no circumstance was he going to make the movie without Bill Murray. It's I think he could have, or at the very least, he could have written he could have given Bill a very short role, not killing him off or anything, but he didn't have to make him such an integral part of the story, and I think Dan thought he did.
Right. You do like Mighty Ducks 3, where Emilio Estevez only shows in it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, there are ways he could have done it, but he himself is also something of a nut. So he thought the movie just had to be a certain way, and that's because he was always the one who would go into the crazy ghost elements of it, and then Harold Ramis was the skeptical, there is no God, right? And it would just completely bring him back down and bring the science elements into it, because Dan Aykroyd again is a fucking nut.
Not gonna lie, I thought my Mighty Ducks 3 reference would get more love from you two. I'm very disappointed.
I like the Mighty Ducks TV series on Disney Plus. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. Emilio Estevez is in that.
I like the cartoon, The Mighty Ducks.
I don't know if I've seen Mighty Ducks 3. Honestly,
I've never watched
spoiler,
any.
Emilio Estevez is only in it for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I've never watched any
I love
Mighty
the first
Duck
one.
movie. So
Yeah, Disney Plus. They have
What the fuck are we talking about?
Mighty Ducks. That's a legitimate, cool thing to talk about, Steve.
I've never seen Mighty Ducks, so I don't know.
Really? Oh shit! That guy's down there and he's shooting at me. Get him, Steve. Protect
Get him,
me,
Ray.
Steve.
Kill it, Ray!
I mean, okay, I got him. What do you want me to do now?
That's good. That's good. Okay.
That'll do, pig.
We
That'll
own
do.
the Daily Bugle.
I am the night.
Oh,
Vengeance is
one
mine.
thing that my fiance actually noticed that was an error in the movie, and when Dan Aykroyd first shows up, and which was weird to me is like she calls the Ghostbusters number from the YouTube video, and suddenly Dan Aykroyd's just there answering. I'm like, wouldn't he be getting calls all the fucking time? Because I didn't understand like the whole world. It reminded me of Star Wars, but you guys complain about Star Wars where everyone forgets about the Jedi. It's like literally everyone really forgot about the Ghostbusters and the.
No, see that bothered me as well. The first time I saw it, that bothered me. But then I remembered that I live in the Facebook era where you can post anything that you want on social media and you can just make people believe what you want to believe. Like, that bothered me, and then I realized, no, you could actually just go on Facebook and say, the Ghostbusters videos are deep fakes, and people would believe it.
Well, that's fine, but the fact that no one had ever heard of that before, it seemed that's what I didn't quite buy.
No. Like you're kind of missing a key element that I do think actually makes that surprisingly more realistic. Is that the kids don't know what Ghostbusters are. Paul Rudd does know what the Ghostbusters are because he was old enough to go through. He was alive when that happened. It's that kind of thing.
That
where
makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
We're like
That's a good
kids kids today won't know don't know Rambo or shit like that. But like so that was my logic for it is like it's the age gap.
I could buy that. I can buy that argument.
I also say that when I brought that issue up to Ronan long ago, like after I first saw the movie, and Ronan pointed out that that's actually completely on point for Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
because
I was
in
going
Ghostbusters 2, they somehow they convinced people that the Stay Puft was like a light show.
Yeah, so that's a stupid thing that the franchise seems to do. I have no doubt whatsoever that if they make I don't know if they've actually confirmed that there's a sequel to Afterlife. It sets itself up for it in the trailer.
I think they said they are making another one.
Yeah, I'm back here killing everyone at the Daily Bugle. I don't know.
We
what
are
you guys
running
did.
towards the circle, buddy.
Yeah. I'm actually playing as a Coward Squad this time. But yeah.
Okay, I'm back here rampaging and pretending that all of these people are Bill Murray.
Good work, Archer. Good work. Rampage.
Well, Ronan, let's go find a bush.
Yeah, so let's in the circle.
I'm coming. I'm on my way.
Oh, but before I forget, so the error that didn't make any sense was
The movie.
when that first scene with Dan Aykroyd, when the little girl calls him. And he's talking about what happened when, I guess, Egon left and stole all their equipment and just disappeared, ghosted all of them. There's my joke. He mentions that the what do you call it? The firehouse or whatever. It's
turned into a Starbucks.
Turned into Starbucks, but at the end, when Ernie Hudson goes into it, there's no Starbucks there. It's not a Starbucks.
See, I think that was meant to be Dan Aykroyd being very cynical. He's trying to say I don't give a shit about the Ghostbusters anymore.
That's stupid because it makes no sense.
I didn't see that as an error so much as him just being really fucking jaded and wanting to shit on his own properties because he owns the firehouse. It's his. He mortgaged his aunt's or grandma's house or something for it.
Everybody has 3 mortgages.
Yeah, I was assuming that was Dan Aykroyd shitting on his own decisions and own history as a Ghostbuster.
It could be.
We're not in the circle.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have. There is. I have zero explanation for that because again, Steve and I have talked about that. How it's like, yeah, you know, how's the firehouse there? Because yeah, you are correct. It should not be there because the movie does very specifically say it. It's like got turned into a Starbucks.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
the
came
problem with that
across as
scene
that's what
wasn't
it was.
the problem with that wasn't the fact that that he said it was a Starbucks. The problem was Ray would never have that conversation because Ray never would have done that to Egon.
Yeah, it did seem pretty douchey. Like,
Ray would have said.
he
Ray would have
seemed
been
like
like,
an
"Wait,
asshole.
what? Egon, the smartest person in the world when it comes to ghosts, says that ghosts are coming
Two guys,
back."
176, 170 behind that rock.
Oh, I did not mean to drive that car. That was weird. Oh, go in. They're going to blow up the gas station. Get away.
Oh fuck!
Let's just go this way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck
no,
these
man.
guys.
Like when
Wait,
Ray is like,
there's guys in front of us.
that's fine. When Ray was like, "Yeah, Egon told us that Gozer was coming back, and we didn't believe him," that is the biggest flaw with the movie. Like this has got to be like alternate universe Ray.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Down. Yeah.
Oh my god, I got like no health.
Get upstairs. Get upstairs. Get upstairs. Upstairs is safe. I'm dropping health.
There's a
Oh,
health. Yeah,
up
there's a
here.
health kit. Yeah, there's a health kit up
sweet.
here, Matt.
Got it. Thank you.
Got a nice sweet
Yeah.
purple assault rifle
I
from
had
him.
1 health.
God damn.
No
You know,
shields.
After the show, I'm gonna go watch the end of the movie again, and then I'm just going to tell myself that the rest of the movie was as good, even though it wasn't.
The end of the movie is really cool. I also think the special effects in it look really cool too. I don't know what they kind of did with it to. Maybe it's just lots of glowy things, but I
Got a
thought
guy
it all.
coming. East, coming from the east.
25
Anyways, man,
players.
yeah, God, I can't. The more I talk about this, the less I like this movie, and this fucking episode is bringing me down. Why do you got to take away the good things in my life?
Hey man, I
We
got to
still
bring
ha-
you to my Boba Fett level.
The difference is that
There's no
we still
difference. Shut
have
up.
we still have the timeless classic that is Ghostbusters that will stand the test of time that has not been fucked with by its creator. And you don't even really have that. You have like Star Wars, and you don't even get to watch the original unaltered version anymore. Yeah,
There's
that's
someone
what I
So-
thought.
So
like, I
thanks
can
for
hear 'em
listening,
walking around.
everybody. That was our episode on Ghostbusters Afterlife. I liked it. Ronan and Steve seem to be liking it less and less as they think more and more about it. But overall, I think it's a pretty good movie. I'd recommend people check it out. Even people who don't like Ghostbusters, clearly. If you're someone who doesn't like Ghostbusters, I definitely think, I guess I'm testament that you can get some enjoyment out of this movie and like it. If I had to give it like a letter grade, I'd probably give it like a C+. Which going in, I thought it was going to be like an F. So it's pretty good. So,
It sounds like they're next door to us. I'm not sure.
Now we gotta be super serious and play Fortnite.
oh, the door just opened. Door just opened. Closing it.
Good work, Matt.
Yep.